sure that I have volume here. I see your
Sure.
I see your glasses.
Oh, there he is. Where's the button on this thing? Start video.
I see your
How you doing, buddy?
Your crazy goggles you got on there.
So let me see if I can just output real quick. Give me 1 second here. Select a speaker, live chat. All right. Can you say something, please?
Hello, 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 hello.
There we go. Gotcha.
Woo. So it's finally 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And 11 a.m. Melbourne, Australia. I can tell you, your night's going to be awesome. Your morning's going to be wonderful.
Oh, yeah, I know. I already said that. I said that at 4:54 p.m. today.
Hoo-ha. Nice.
As my meeting was ending for my day job. So I was just kind of chilling. And then I had to go out and get dinner. I got the lamb gyro.
Ooh. Mm.
And then I figured, you know what, that's not really healthy. So I put I basically dumped it on top of a bed of arugula and spring mix. So
nice.
You know, it kind of came out a little more healthy. So I got my greens in.
You know what? You're the one that determines if it's gold or lead. You know, we're it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a different view. I don't think I've ever seen that table.
Probably not.
Nice floors.
We've got everything in our home is heavy and old feeling. Victoria has this knack of finding the heaviest wooden tables. The table that's off on this side, I'm wiggling my fingers, I believe is from France. The other one I'm not sure of, for the one that's right there. But she manages to collect all this old and heavy stuff to go into our home, which feels like about 14th century France. Oh, and it's fascinating because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 screens that we use for quote unquote the empire. You know, so you know, handful of iPads, a couple iMacs, all that good shit. And it's fascinating with the paradox of living with, our home is made of mud bricks, literally soil and soot from the land compressed with hay and cow shit and who knows what all they've put in there. But we literally live in like a house with 18-inch thick walls made of land. And so we've got heavy wood, heavy stone, heavy floor made of real brick.
Right.
And then we've got cutting edge technology that makes it all possible. It's like, wow.
So does it stay cool in there when it's hot?
Great question. So it's basically one open floor plan. Essentially, we live in what's constructed like a barn. Okay. It's got a cool little loft. The ceilings are 20 feet high, making it up as I go along.
Okay.
And the mud brick will stay cool for about 4 days. Okay. After day 4 of like 110 degree weather, we live in a pizza oven. Which is fascinating because your hardest winter or your hardest season of the year in New Jersey, as far as I'm concerned, is winter. And that's what the Native Americans would say. Winter is your hardest season, which is now for you. Our hardest season is the summer, which is right now. It's the same time. And so it's just fascinating to me, the ironies, the way opposites come together. It's cool that our call would start this way because I get that you're a guy of fascinating opposites, or complements, or aspects. In other words, I suspect you and I, before we were born, didn't go, I'm going to go boring this time.
Yeah.
You tick the box and you become an accountant and you call it a day.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had my moments. I have more crazy and exciting moments now. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
part of, the whole process of Triple D and MM and this group. You kind of, you explore and you stretch and you grow and you see that, hey, the world is scary, but actually the world's not scary.
Yeah.
So you do a lot more stuff. So yeah.
I'm with you. I noticed I tried to fit in so many times. Even like I was a great cop. Yeah,
Okay.
I really was. I was respectful. I did a great job. I gave a shit. I still give a shit.
Get in line, 20.
Hoo-ha. But it's like, God, I couldn't have sustained it long term. You're getting,
Right.
you having gone through what I've gone through. It's like, that was all good, because yeah, at heart, like you said, you buy your lamb, but then you also go, let's put some greens on this too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're getting both sides of you active,
Like,
all at once
I
there.
need something more.
Yeah.
Something else is calling me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I am now with the day job. I'm like, I like it, but something else is like, it's like this.
Yeah. Nice. What is
Yeah.
it? Do you know? What's it feeling like?
It's full-time coaching. But the funny thing is, I do like a cyber security thing now. And I remember right before I left my other job thinking, I hate this job. I'm listening to people tell me what to do. I know what to do. I don't need to be told what to do. I'm going to just leave here and do it on my own. And I hated it more and more and more every day. And then finally, the day that I was getting ready to drive by, but didn't drive by, I turned in and about 1 p.m. They called me into the special office and they laid me off. And I was like this part of my face was crying and this part of my face was smiling. It's like, oh no, the money. And it's like, oh yeah, but you're free. So
Nice.
I think once they push they give you this package, they're like, we're letting you go, but here's this amount. And I was like, oh. So
Nice.
that tear crawled back up and it was like, we're not so sad now.
Yeah.
So,
Very nice.
but the thing I did learn from that was I went to another company and they put me through 30-day training and I learned so much shit that now I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, now I really can do this on my own. Back then I couldn't.
Right.
I wanted to, but once I went through the training and learned everything, I'm like, oh, now I know it. And now I don't want to do it. But I think that's an interesting dynamic because I feel it's the same with the coaching. 5 or 10 years ago, I was like, I want to coach. I want to coach.
Right.
I had no clue what that was.
It's wild you mention that because as far as I can tell, the three main markets are always the same. Relationships, which can include sex and love, money, and health. And it's fascinating to me whenever I had to take on temp jobs because I was starting out just figuring out my own personal philosophy and way of life, going through the events of the promise and all that dumb shit. It's actually quite cool. But it was like, all right, so I'd be teaching, having lots of people show up, and then it would die. And then I'd go get a job. And then I'd be teaching again, build the business up, and it would die, and I'd go get another job. And it's wild because I went through a process where I went totally flat freaking broke. It's like, oh my God, no one's showing up. I've got these great courses. When people do sign up, I'd have to cancel them because of rain or whatever. It was
Right.
horrible, right? So it's like, radio. So I get down to the park and I'm doing my Tai Chi and Qigong and meditating stuff and just having a blast. And I walk home, I'm in the zone. And I open this old fashioned thing up called a newspaper. And in this black and white newspaper, there's an ad that's glowing gold, and it's for the old folks' home. And it's like, oh,
Right.
this can't be good. And then so I called my wife at the time over and I says, look at this ad. And she goes, what about it? I said, is it the same color as all the other ads? She goes, yes. And I went, fuck. So it's like, all right. So I went to the old folks' home, and I went in flip flops, cut off shorts that were all frazzled, yeah, a shirt that was half buttoned up the wrong way,
Right.
and I did everything I could not to get this job. And so I go through this half-hour interview. The girl takes me on a tour, and she walks me up to a corner where this lady's sitting in a wheelchair. Her name's Betty, and she says, "I'd like for you to meet Betty." And I squatted down next to Betty and I said, "How's it going?" And Betty goes, eh. I says, "I bet you." And we did the tour, and I went home. 4 days go by and the phone rings, and I answer it, and the girl says, "This is Eileen from the old folks home." I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you want? Because I got a problem. And I'm guessing, I said, I think I got a problem now too. And she goes, I interviewed 14 people for this job. And I'm like, all right. And she goes, you're the only one that squatted down next to Betty.
Oh,
It's like, I don't
no.
like, yeah. I'm like, all right. So I went in, and that job taught me how to play again, because
Okay.
I forgot how to play. I was the fun and games activity guy. It also got me over any fear of getting old, because I had no problem dying,
Okay.
but getting
Oh,
old
yeah.
scared the shit out of me, right? But I totally
Oh,
got over that in that job. While I was there, I decided I was doing all my naturopathic studies and everything else, and I decided I want to work for the treatment team. Talk about insane, right? About 2 weeks go by, and the restorative nursing department corners me. I'm like, what do you guys want? And they're like, we want you to run the department. And I'm like, I don't have any qualifications. And I said, well, we've got this checklist. And they pull out this checklist, and they said, if you take these 3 seminars and do these 3 trainings, you can do it. And so
right.
they paid me, like you, to do 3 trainings and 3 seminars and all this crap. So for a year, I ran restorative nursing, which you need to be an RN to do, unless you do all the crazy stuff, right?
Oh, okay.
Moral of the story, I leave there, I go into finance. I'm selling electronic gift card and credit card processing. I'm in the business side of banking and loans and all that crap. Totally unqualified, learning heaps. And here I am now in Australia, right? With 15, 20 years now of coaching and training. And all those temp jobs give to me today to give to you. and it's
Right.
and it's the wildest thing, because like you, I had this long-term dream, and it'd come and go. I'd get it going, I'd screw it up, I'd take a temp job, and every one of those temp jobs gave me skills, understandings, terminology, the ability to talk to and understand what medical things are going on with people.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's like, dude, oh, you're doing it.
You're not ready until you're ready. Yeah.
And you're building up your your book of Anthony, your book of so you're into coaching. What makes you you? What makes you different? Why do people want to work with you? What's your thing?
I can read mine. Um, Not really, but just a feeling, I think, of what people are not saying, which is a good thing, because a lot of times if you're getting coached or in some type of therapy or counseling, there are things you want to say, but you're not sure whether or not you should say them or when you should say them. And I feel like I can always sense, like, okay, but there's a little something more here that you're not saying, right? Um, and like, even if I talk to friends and they mention something, I'm kind of like, oh, but it sounds like there's a little bit more. And they kind of look at me like, shit. So it's like I have this knack for pulling information out of people. So I think that's a good thing. I've always done it too. So it's not like I just started. It was like a high school thing.
Would you call it information or would you call it truth?
Oh yeah, I guess it is. It is a truth. Kind of like, I guess, tucked a little below the surface.
I get when I talk to you and I watch you online with your posts and everything else, your videos, that you've got this capacity to draw out a functional truth.
Probably because I can now draw my own truth, you know?
Yeah. You know what?
I was hiding.
I did a training. God, it could be 20, 25 years ago now. And it turned out, it was a group of guys were the only people that signed up, like 14. And I said, look, anyone here who hasn't touched their dick in the past week, let me rephrase it. Anybody here who won't admit that they did can leave now. Because we're talking functional honesty here.
Okay.
So if you're going to pretend that you haven't touched your willy in the past week, you can leave. And these were all like 18 to 30-year-olds, a lot of yang energy. So it's like, if you're going to lie and say you haven't touched it, out. All right. And then they're all like, this is going to be cool. Right. just because we entered the whole thing with this agreement, we're going to be honest. We're going to be open. We're going to explore. We're going to just, discover what it's like to really be men.
Right.
And get beyond all the all the dumb shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and I think for any therapy or counseling that I've been through for myself, it's like the people that have kind of known what was going on under my bullshit are the people that have been like the best, where I was like, yeah, I didn't want to admit that, but I got to admit that. And that was a good session versus the people that just kind of string you along. All right, well, we'll see you next week.
I'm with you.
It's like, let's get this over with. Are you ready or not? If you're not ready, call somebody else. That's my method of coaching. If you're not ready, call somebody else. Yeah. Because I'm ready. I don't got all day over here.
I find it interesting. Have you read the Da Vinci Method?
I have not. It was. I heard that in something else. Is that in a lesson in something?
I do mention, I believe, in the Money Mastermind. I don't know if you got that or not. I toss that out every 6 months, something like that.
Okay.
In the Da Vinci Method, they mention there are two kinds of people. One they call Da Vinci's. Look at that, right? So, and then the others are normal people, and they basically say normal people can work at about 20% productivity for 40 hours a week.
Okay.
Normal people are okay going, all right, this is the task, I'll just do it. Da Vinci's, on the other hand, go, how the fuck can I get this 8 hours worth of stuff done in 10 minutes and be done with this?
Right.
A Da Vinci is real. Normal people go, I want to get a job that I can be at for the next 20 years and retire.
Right.
A Da Vinci goes, what's my next project? I really want to nail something. What Da Vinci's tend to do is nail things and then go like stare at water for like a couple months. And then they nail something and they go stare at a mountain for a couple months. Chop wood, eat some lamb. Oh, it's time to go make $1 million. Let's take credit card technology to the next level. And then, hey, look, seashells. Wow. And just being done with it all.
Yeah, so that was a work from home discovery. Because it was just me. So it's like, it's only me. I get to do all the work all day without, let me take 15 minutes to talk to Brian, and let me take 25 minutes to talk to Joanne. So I realize, you know what? It does not take me 8 hours a day to get this crap done.
Exactly.
So,
So if you make a Da Vinci work all day, it kills them.
so I
So
have more time now
yes,
to work on me. Like, I do all my stuff that I want to do versus the stuff that I used to do for someone else. Interesting. Yeah, I thought I heard that in one of the lessons. Like,
I may have tossed it into Triple D or MM. It's hard to say.
I feel like Triple D might have had something about Da Vinci.
Just might.
Okay. So, 22 degrees here, and my little head's right in front of the window. So,
oh man, wow! If you want to go get a hat or something, I'll stick around.
No, I'm good. I don't I don't usually sit in the house with a hat, but I tend to be out as much as I can because I work from home. So as soon as that ends and I slam that laptop,
yeah, out you go.
Yeah.
But when I was voluntarily bald, I wore a hat everywhere all the time. I just discovered my head was so sensitive. It was fascinating. Like I loved when people would touch it. That's where that one pet the cat exercise came from in Triple D. It's like I'd go through my day and go radio. So I'd make up a number 7, and I'd just in my mind create the circumstance that 7 people have petted my head today. Oh my God, the fun! I don't care, young, old, guys, girls, infants, dogs. I don't care. And then the next thing you know, like, oh, you got to touch it. Wonderful, just goofing around. But I had to wear a hat so much, like with the lockdown look now that I've carried on. Like, now it's the different game. I want people touching my hair, which is pretty rare in Australia because everybody now is terrified of Omicron. It's like, oh my God, just
it sounds like a video game.
Yeah, I concur.
When I first shaved it, I think I wore a hat everywhere, including to bed, because it was like this thing of like, I can't believe I'm bald. But it was one of those things where it was like, okay, buddy, like there's less and less and less hair, so you got to work it out. So finally I did it, but then I was like, oh shit, I got to wear a hat. I'm not comfortable with this. But at this point, I haven't really worn it. I wear a hat if it's cold like today, but other than that, I don't really wear a hat anymore. I'm okay with it. It's only been, 96 I shaved it.
Wow.
So
you're a long-termer.
That's been a little while. Yeah, like at 22, it started. And I was, swirling it every which way and styling it and gelling it. And then one day it was like, all right, well, 15 minutes in and a half a bottle of gel. It's still not working. So
yeah, too much work.
Take a new route. And now it's like, I ain't got to do nothing. I get up and I go. So much better, much easier.
Sounds like a way of life.
I have to hide behind my hair or my no hair. Not hiding behind my no hair.
Showing up and not wasting time.
Yeah, I think a lot of us get that, right? Like, I think people come into like manifesting and law of attraction and where's my house and where's my car and where's my boat, where's my girl, and where's my guy, and then like for me, it's been the working through. Oh, where's my anxiety? I remember when. Where's my loneliness? I don't have that. I remember when. Or my hip pain. But it's it's so much better now than it was before. So for those kinds of things are the things that have been really important. Versus, where's my house? Where's my car? And I think a lot of people learn that once they go through all the courses and all the lectures. They see a lot of other things unfold in their life. That's not all the material crap. And I think they think, we figure out that's where the real happiness is.
You
That's
know,
the fun.
when I stopped, I lived in Fayette County, Pennsylvania. It's not bad, it's not good, but it was the heroin county of that part of the world when I lived there.
Okay.
And I carried a gun almost every day of my life for 20 years.
Is that
Not
near
as a
Pittsburgh?
That's near Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And so long story short, I remember when I was done with all that. Still
Mhm.
love some people back there, still love the land. But when I got done with, you know what? I don't want to have to know that every day I could end up shooting someone.
Right.
I'm capable of it, but I'm just tired of it. I don't want to walk down the street and see drug deals all the time. I just, I'm done with it. And it
Right.
was wild because, like, all the time we chase things like cars, houses, money. And I love having a decent car, a decent house, and decent income. But that whole thing of like a decent whatever versus a dream driven day.
Right.
This is one of the reasons why I've been looking forward to this call with you, because I as I stalk you online and I notice here's
Mhm.
Anthony having more of him show up in his day, because when you show up in your day, there's less room for anxiety. When you show up in your day, there's less room for chasing something. When you show up in your day, because you show up. If you
Right.
don't show up, hey, here's room for anxiety to move in next door. Here's room for fear. Here's room for, or yeah, you cannot imagine the number of emails I get about the loogie, and
Oh,
the
right.
response is always the same. What are you doing with your day? Because if you're waiting to have your day till the loogie's over, it's probably going to be a while.
Right.
Who cares? I don't wait for nothing. I don't care who's prime minister, who's president. It's like, would it be nicer if somebody else was something? Who knows? But at
Right.
the end of the day, it's like, what? I desire coffee. I desire to chat with my buddy Anthony. I desire to do a goody podcast. All right, let's
Coffee.
do, let's do that.
I was gonna get a coffee. I opted for wine, but I was thinking maybe I should get a coffee and put some whiskey in it. But
Coffee with whiskey. What kind of whiskey?
I think we got the Bullet Bourbon over there. Um, and then like a little bit of Frangelico.
All right. Yeah.
Mix it for, a nice little hazelnut flavor or rum
Yeah. Yeah.
chata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that last one is. What's the last one?
Rum chata is kind of, I guess it's closest to Malibu, but
All right.
it has a little cream in it. So it's creamy.
All right.
Yeah. But I got this German wine here. That's a little on the sweet side. Gerwurst or something. Gerwurst somebody. And I'm like,
Grant Monk would probably know. That's wine. All right.
so it's a little sweet, but not like Moscato or or a Riesling. So that'll be one of the things that I imagine will keep me up pissing all night.
Yeah, nice. So part of what I want with these calls is I just did one with Suzanne yesterday. Is I want you people to be found. Of course, I want the DDD message out there. I want people to meet you guys that have been through the program, so on and so forth. But to the degree that you want found, I want you to be found and noticed, seen as well. So when you talk about coaching and that you can bring the unspoken truth out. God, I so understand that, because like one of the things that I tell people when it comes to marketing is when you can put to words their problem better than they can, they also get that you can put into action the solution better than they can.
Right. Okay.
And it's so simple because that for me it's all fractals, and it's as fractally as you got some lamb, you added some vegetable.
Right.
Some people would buy the lamb and give up. Oh, I just bought shit. I'm done. Life is over. I'll start again tomorrow, maybe next month. I'm no good at this. I might as well just eat Cheetos. And then they go, crashing off the cliff. Versus
Ah,
you have a built-in internal process you might not even notice, but this is also how you can benefit your clients.
okay.
Because when they're having a not so good day, it's like having a not so good meal, and you can help them explore in a way that adds some vegetables in. There you go.
Yeah. 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 My new thing is I gotta have something sweet. So I was in Wawa. Wawa.
Right.
I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, what's sweet, but maybe kind of sort of not 500 calories, but maybe kind of sort of good enough that it'll satisfy me. And, I'm looking at all these things and I'm like, why am I doing this? What do I want? So
What do you want?
when I looked up, there was peanut butter cup cake. And I was like,
That's evil.
oh, like I've never seen this in my entire life. I gotta have it. So yeah, after the lamb and the salad, we're gonna have peanut butter cup cake. So I guess it's like these two little things, peanut butter cup, and then the bottom is cake. So
Wow.
that's gonna be pretty delicious tonight.
There's some things that we don't have in Australia. You talk about, I love this rule of unintended consequences. So when you change your name to a number, for example, there's an unintended consequence, as in you can't call up the local martial arts school and fill out the form saying, hey, I want to come visit you guys and put your name there, because they think, who the fuck is this? Right. Or if you order things from overseas, if you put your name as a number 2020, yeah, it comes through and like customs goes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I wanted to get a job, it would be impossible, because it's like, right, we're going to hire this guy. This is this. They might call me in for a conversation, but they're not going to call me in for a job. You know what I mean? So I love unintended consequences. Like trying to buy a peanut butter cup in Australia is impossible.
Okay.
We don't have them.
Huh.
I never anticipated that. So, like before they started checking every package that comes into the country real aggressively, I'd have people send me them from the old country. Or we do have an American store here where you can go buy Captain Crunch cereal for like $15 a box or something like that. Yeah, right. Crazy talk. But I love this whole thing of, what are the unintended consequences? You're owning your day more and more. What are the unintended consequences of that? I'm always curious, because these can be quite delightful, right? And they can also be quite like, what the fuck happened? Like,
Hmm. From an aspect of what am I imagining I'm doing, or what's just happening?
no idea.
Because I feel like things happen more with less thought, I think.
Totally. I get that with you.
Like
Totally.
the things that I'm like, I know. Uh, Getting on the scale is one of them. That's why I was like tonight, I'm like, why am I looking at, who cares if this has 780 calories or if it has 200? But I think, I don't know. I feel like I put it together because I know when I don't want clients, they cancel. So then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so tonight I'm free to do whatever I want. But that's kind of
Yeah.
like I intended to be free. Um,
Nice. This is
Oh, well,
exactly what I'm looking for.
maybe like for example, Sunday, I had it all planned out. I was like, you know what? Going to my favorite bar up the street. I'm gonna get me a chicken club. I'm gonna get me a Jameson and ginger, and I'm gonna sit there and talk to the bar lady. I drive there and the fucking place is closed. So it's like, okay. So then I drove to two other places and I wound up at a third place, but the third place wound up being a different experience because I got to experience the crowd around me. And I don't know that would have happened at the bar that I go to almost every week.
Right.
So it was a chance to notice how people interact and how they live in their little bubble, and how it was almost like I'm sitting here and three tables behind me are talking and three tables are complaining, and I can hear each conversation individually and just know that, all right, there's three tables here that need coaching. They all got shitty relationships, and they're out drinking and having dinner and trying to push everything down. So I think that's a good example of that was not intended, but
what a goody gift to you.
Yeah, so like that was a good thing.
I really get, there's this level of fantasy where we go, right? So let's say I'm watching a Harry Bosch episode and they show the view from Bosch's, what do we call it, deck. And you can see the city of Los Angeles goes on forever. And I could go, righty-o, I'm imagining all those people listening to my podcast and getting blessed. And that's almost like a fantasy.
Okay.
Versus really getting, there are people out here starving for what I do, and I'm imagining them get it. You go to bar to bar to bar. You finally find a place where you can go, and you're hearing people. It's that need what you got.
Right.
When you really believe in what you do, and one of the things I'd love for you to do, give me ways for people to contact you when you're ready for people to contact you.
Okay.
I'll put them in the show thing. If you want to, if you don't, that's fine too. But whatever it is, this is the cool thing for me because there are people that need to talk to me.
Uh-huh.
There are people that need to talk to you. There are people who need to talk to you. If they talk to me, they're going to go, nah. And it's the wildest thing because it might be my hair, my skin color, might be like the fact that I swear like a sailor. Who the hell knows? But whatever it is, there are people that you are here to bless,
right,
with who you are and what you do, and how you meet them, how they come across you, what inspires you, is all like this. There's so much when you nail the end. All these unintended consequences happen as you cross bridges. I met Victoria because I was imagining really great marketing, right? So you want to hear a good story?
Yes, of course.
So I was imagining really great marketing. And so I'm studying really great marketers. And this one really great marketer, it may have been Dan Kennedy or somebody, says, do market research. And I'm going to be honest, I'm what they call either effective or lazy. I haven't figured out which. But it's like, right, how can I get other people to do market research for me? The other thing that I am is notoriously quote unquote cheap. I'm not into wasting money. I'm into investigating things like whiskey, right?
Okay.
And so it's like, what do I do? So I put up this little offer. For so much money, I'll make a custom recording for you.
Okay.
And so I put up the offer. For so much money, I will make a custom recording for you. And boom, I get people that do it. One of them is a fellow in Melbourne, Australia, who shares it with a friend who orders one, who shares it with a family member who orders one. The next thing you know, they fly me down here to do a training and I meet her. Right?
Okay.
This is the way things work because I'm imagining home. I'm imagining relationship. I'm imagining great marketing, great business. And you pull on one string of the tapestry and everything starts to move.
Right.
And it's the most fascinating thing because I think I'm coming down here because, well, the first thing I did was I came up with that brilliant idea for so much money I'll do a custom recording. We'll email back and forth, because we didn't have video shit like this back then, right? Yeah, this is back 2009, 2010-ish. We didn't have any of this stuff.
Right.
And so it was all like emails and just MP3 recording. And it's the wildest thing because here we are, and what came from that was flying down here for a little work vacation, meeting her, staying, building this kingdom. Wow. It's the wildest adventures whenever you're willing to go, all right, here's what I'm imagining. Here's what I'm imagining. Here's what I'm imagining. Here's what I'm imagining. And however they all work together,
Right.
they're like four tires on a car. They're going to get you somewhere.
Right. So yeah, I have to keep focus. That a lot of times I am in touch with that, but I get today actually. Did you see my post about my housemate and the get a raise, get a promotion, get a raise, get a promotion? And I have been saying that for about a year. And maybe 3 months ago, he got the raise. And then about a month ago, he got the promotion.
Right.
So then today, he's like, I'm not going to take the other job because I like this job and I'm happy. And I'm like, oh, that's good. I'm glad you're happy. And then he says, but I'm also in trouble maybe because I'm making the office run so efficiently, we may have to get rid of some more staff. So, if that were me, I might be in my head just like him. But because he put that to me, I'm like, yeah, but we don't know, what that means. Like, you wanted money. Your boss wants more money in the office. You don't know that, Jane Doe sitting at the desk is not sitting there thinking, God, I wish I could get the fuck out of this place.
I want out. Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So if that's the case, everything is working perfectly as it should. And he was like, oh yeah, you always tell me that. Like the movie Inception, you were like, go to the end. And I'm like, yeah, in the movie Inception, he can relate because they kept saying, you go to the end. And he was like, all right, I get it. So I think for me, it's like, yeah, do more and know more of the things that you tell everyone else. You're always telling other people what to do and how to do it. Make sure you remember that when it comes to you doing your own shit.
It's fun. It's fun living the message because no matter how much you live the message, you find new ways to live the message and new levels to live the message on and other opportunities. I came across a metaphor, analogy, whatever it was years ago, and we're more like onions than potatoes. A potato is one thing. You cut it, it's homogeneous. It's just one thing. An onion, oh my God, all the layers of the onion. And we could say some are so appealing that they make you cry. It's just you're always peeling away layers of the onion. They're all yummy. But how many layers does Anthony have? How many layers does 2020 have? Oh my God, they're endless.
How many licks? How many licks does it take? Remember that commercial?
Totally.
Oh man.
What was the answer? 3?
Oh, the owl was like 1, 2, and then he just bit the whole thing. It's like
that's right.
That's not a lick.
Yeah, nice.
Like the marshmallow experiment where you got to make the kid wait. It's like, nope, I'm just gonna bite it.
Done.
So on there was something the other day that you posted. What's today? Tuesday? Monday? Sunday or Monday?
It's your Tuesday.
Okay, so yeah, maybe today, I don't know, about your day and how everything just kind of falls in line.
Yes.
I think I'm always thinking that, but then I'm curious about how that actually unfolds because I don't, sometimes I see it and sometimes I realize, like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store. Oh, I'm going to the car wash. And I think about, you know, the sale of something or top shelf at bottom shelf prices. And I guess that's like the thing where it's more of a like, oh, this is an everyday thing. This is a way of life. And it's more of a way of life now than it, of course, than it was, 2 or 3 years ago. But I think those kinds of where you just have it so that you live that way every day and you're not thinking, what am I supposed to do? Or what did I do? Or what didn't I do? And I think you kind of get there, right?
Totally.
Yeah, you get there.
We just got salmon yesterday. So actually 2 days ago. So on Mondays, we eat salmon for lunch every Monday. It's when we do our main shop. And because the loogie, one of the blessings that we have right now in Australia is all the fresh seafood that was exported far, far away and or being sold in restaurants is getting driven into the consumers.
Okay.
And so we're getting fresh salmon like every Monday, and it is absolutely divine.
Okay.
And the fun and the beautiful thing is the store we used to go to didn't get it. And it's like the difference between like a shop and save and a food land. Like they're both the same thing.
Right.
But we switched from Kohl's to Woolworths. Those are the big ones here. And when we go into Woolworths and I go back and we get this salmon, like I've already imagined, my Joseph Goddard routine, 10 to 12, 6 to 10 specific events of today already having gone my way. So I'm imagining up that yummy salmon for lunch. And sometimes I'll walk back and I'll have 2 pieces left. Sometimes they'll have 40 pieces there, but only 2 are the ones that I want. And it's fascinating to me because we'll bring it home and we'll fry it up. We'll make the skin nice and crispy, and it'll have this lovely fatty layer of that really amazing fish oil. It's so good for you. And some people would say, well, yeah, anybody can experience that. Well,
Right.
I'll go to the dog park and I'll hear people talking about, you wouldn't believe I got shitty fish again from Woolworths. Oh my God. I bought chicken the other day. It was garbage again. It was all like gristly. And it's like, why is it they always have a loss every day? And why is it that I celebrate like, oh, I've got this lovely meal plan today. It's already prepared because normally this is about the time when I'd be cooking. But I fried up these chicken thigh fillets in this lovely curry sauce, and it's getting mixed in with this lime and something salad, and just like, oh, it's going to be divine, Anthony.
Okay.
But I've just imagined up again Victoria's yum. So like every day I get a yum, every day I get a yum, and some people would say it would happen anyway. Not a chance. Never. Right? It's just wild whenever you decide it's my day.
Okay.
Mine. My day.
All right. All right.
It's like deciding this is our time together. This is us doing a dance, blessing billions. Just that attitude that some people would say, yeah, it would have happened anyway. Not a chance. Not a chance.
So I have those, and I have the other ones where I'm just like,
yeah,
I know I did, like I was waiting for I ordered a book on eBay, and it said it was going to come around the 15th. And I was like, I know it'll be here sooner. So yesterday I get the email and it says it's delivered. And I'm like, yes, I knew it. So it says at the front porch. I go to the porch and there's nothing. So I'm like, I look in the mailbox, I look under the chairs, I look at the neighbors. And then I go back to the email and it says 4 p.m. And I'm like, I was getting in the car at 4 p.m. I saw the delivery guy. He went to 243 and he went to 233. He did not come to 239. So I emailed the seller and I'm like, dude, he didn't come here. But I was like, why am I bothering? Just imagine reading my book on Saturday at the park. So I did. I went out, I got my gyro, I came back, I made a salad. I went back out to the car to get my hat and my jacket, and the book was laying on the porch where they said it was yesterday. I'm like, all right, so there it is. I get to read it starting tomorrow.
I invented this thing. Cool. We've got like 5 minutes left. Just a heads up. I just noticed the time. I invented this thing called Amazon.com.au. Because in Australia, we've got the world's shittiest delivery systems. Almost anything I order anywhere in Australia never arrives. And I get it. I imagined it up, right? But I also get that I one day said, I am done with this, right? Okay. Because they tend not only to not deliver your things to your house, they charge you lots of money. And it's like, I don't do this game. I don't do this. I do not do this. And I was done with it, right? I drew my line in the sand, Triple D style. And the next thing you know, Amazon.com.au goes wild with actually selling shit. Because the first couple of years, they had nothing in stock. Okay. And suddenly, they're selling everything. And a great example, I decided, you know what? I want to introduce Victoria to amaranth, the grain of the gods. And so I don't know if the store has the grain of the gods or not. And shopping in Australia right now is interesting with the loogie and everything. We've got all sorts of weird shit happening here, and that's fine. But it's like, I want the grain of the gods. And I imagine cooking it for her and experiencing her yum. And I go online. And I order 2 from Amazon.com.au for $6 a piece. That's about what they would cost in a grocery store. Free shipping because I have Amazon Prime, and they will be here on Tuesday. Right?
All right.
That works for me because we normally go shopping on a Monday. We've got the meal plan prepared for Monday. The earliest I could cook it would be on Tuesday. And then I get an email that says, hey, it'll be here by Thursday. And for fun, I just went unacceptable.
Okay.
And sure enough, 4:00 in the afternoon on Tuesday, the fella's running down the driveway and giving it a chuck on the porch. It's like, score.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the grain of the gods. Because I decided it's mine. We don't settle here. We soar. There's that attitude. And
nice.
That's it, man. Amazon.com.au upped their game because of me.
Nice.
So if you could say anything to anyone, if you could have Anthony's billboard right now, what would you put on it?
Anthony's billboard.
That could be a hell of a website, by the way.
I don't know. That's a crazy question.
Cool.
Find me. That's the billboard. Find me. And I think people will. So if the billboard said find me and that was it.
And I love how that fits.
The irony of them finding me
helps them find themselves.
Yeah, it's like, how do people find you when all your billboard says is find me? I don't know. It just happened.
I'm with you.
Nice. Yeah, I had a Zoom call the other night. A guy in New York City has a Zoom call with, and it's like, meet people. And somebody said they were, oh, I've been in therapy. I got anxiety. I'm going crazy. And there was a lady that was a doctor. And I'm sitting there like, I'm a coach. And the other lady's like, I'm a doctor. I'm a therapist. And it's like, okay. And then the doctor suddenly goes, yeah, my name's at the bottom. Just visit my name at .com. And I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking, shit, my website is like mindandbodyalign.com. But then, I hung up from the call and it was over and I was fine. But then something was like, well, Anthony, you bought that little short web address a year ago because you wanted to use that to get redirected to that long website. I was like, shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's just like the letter U, the letter R, and then love.net takes them to that.
Wow. Nice.
Long drawn out website. So I'm like, oh yeah, just use that going forward instead of trying to blurt it out and spell it out and get it out.
We'll set that up so I can link to that for you.
Okay.
All right. It's been a pleasure, buddy.
Happy Wednesday, and I'll see you for a day of fun tomorrow. Nice chatting with you. It's like very it's like a different level of intimacy because you're like you hear people, you see people, but then when it's like, yeah, I'm chilling in my living room.
It's Tony Doyle, who did Triple D a while back. We've worked on a little project together, and right before our call, he sends me this mock-up that he made for let's just say a book cover.
Okay.
And it's a photo of me wearing a ball cap and him wearing a ball cap.
Right.
And there's one photo on the internet that I'm aware of me wearing a ball cap. And it's an old profile photo that I just started reusing like 2 weeks ago for some reason. And it's the perfect photo for that because it's the intimacy of two guys like that'd be like you and I sitting here.
Right.
Like him and I sitting there. And I get that's something else you bring to the table. That's something I love about Triple D. There's my crass commercial. And here's a crass commercial for you. I love how you just connect with people. Because in a world where people are so disconnected all the time, They need this. Thank you so much. And it is yourlove.net.
Correct. Yes. And that'll take them to the 20
to the
website.
Yeah. To the alphabet soup.
Right.
Nice. Have a great night, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh my God, it was my pleasure.
Talk to you soon.